So let's talk about why you should ditch the 9-to-5 prison and how you can create a life of freedom and purpose. So let's start this video out with understanding the 9-to-5 trap. So let's be real, the 9-to-5 lifestyle isn't for everyone. For many of us, it's like getting a prison sentence. One of the worst feelings that you can feel is when you wake up at a given time. You must wake up at this time to go commute to a job that you actually hate. Then you have to sit at a desk, stare at a screen, or do some kind of brain-dead work for almost the whole day, and it can feel soul-grabbing. But the problem is that you think you have no other choice than to just wait out your sentence of the 9-to-5 prison. But you don't realize that you sentence yourself, so you can escape. And there's a different way to live, and there is a way that you can create a more meaningful, creative, and free life, independent life. So we have to talk about redefining success. To break free, the first mindset shift you need is to redefine success. If we look 2 generations back, that would be your mom if you are 20 years old. They were promised that if they licked their boss's ass as much as they could so they get all brown in their face, then they would be taken care of for the rest of their life as long as they were just loyal to the company. And then they could live a carefree life within the 9-to-5 prison. Our generation, Gen Z, say what you want about our generation, but we have that shit figured out. Because we understand that the 9-to-5 prison will take our soul in the end. And we have a better understanding, in any case, a different understanding of what success is. And most of us have a better understanding about what will truly make us happy in the end. Of course, our generation is still the generation with the most amount of spoiled brats.
Don't talk to my family.
Why not?
They're irrelevant.
So, that's the way of things. But what I really wanted to say, that we know that we can create our own life. We know that life doesn't have to be a giant rat race anymore, because we can create our own path of purpose, fulfillment, and meaning, and just in general living on our own terms. So let's get to the practical steps to ditch the 9-to-5. So how can you actually break free? How do you make the leap from the 9-to-5 grind to the more fulfilling life that you create? Here are 5 practical steps that you can take to make that happen. So the first step is that you have to define your why. Why do you want to escape the 9-to-5 prison? What is driving you? Is it freedom, creativity, or a passion project? And the stronger the why, the more fuel you will have for your journey. The second step is that you have to cut back on work. You don't have to work from 9 to 5. One of the biggest fears of leaving a 9-to-5 job is financial stability. But there's a secret. You don't need one big job to support you. You need several small jobs or one part-time job that can provide you with the necessary needs in order for you to survive or even thrive. And if you think that's impossible, then you need to go back to step 1 and redefine your why. Because if your why isn't strong enough, then you will not have the fuel to figure out how you can cut down on work and still survive. Because we are human, and we humans survive, and we always find a way. So if your why is strong enough, then you will find a way. It's inevitable. So the next step is you have to invest in your skills. I would say that you should find a skill that is in high demand. And that would be the case if your why is that you want to earn as much money as quickly as possible. But then we would lose the true meaning, the true fulfillment, and the reason why we started this journey in the first place. So I would advise you to not make your purpose making as much money as quickly as possible. So invest in something meaningful, in something creative that actually brings you happiness and fulfillment, gratitude. And this takes me back to step 1 again. If you don't have any idea of what that could be, then you have to sit down with a piece of paper and think to yourself, what would I be doing for free for the next 5 years or even 10 years? What would be so amazingly fulfilling for me that I could just work on for 5 to 10 years for free? That's your why. That's your purpose. And that could be anything. It could be creating music, creating YouTube videos, creating a personal blog. And when you have figured that out, then you'll never work another day in your life. This kind of bleeds into the next point, which is that you have to create a personal brand. Because this is key to gaining independence in this modern age. Because in this modern age, the new meta, the most effective tactic available is to create a personal brand, whether it's on social media, YouTube, or a personal blog. Because establishing your own brand will give you independence and control over your own path. And it allows you to connect with opportunities on your own terms. And the fifth and final step, and maybe the most important actually, is that you have to start small, but you have to stay consistent. Because as I stated earlier, you don't have to quit your 9-to-5 job from one day to the other. Start with small steps. Cut back on work. Get a part-time job. Build side hustles. And slowly begin to make time for the real meaningful work that you do on your own, outside the 9-to-5 prison. Step by step, you'll find time, and before you know it, you're actually 100% free, or 99% free, and you can do whatever you want. And when you get that realization, your life will never be the same again. I've had that realization. I started where you were, thinking that there was no escape, and I could not support myself financially. But I figured out ways, because I'm human, I'm a survivor. And my why got so strong that in the end, I had no other alternative, because I could not live that way anymore. So I hope you figure out the same thing and get the same realization as me. So escaping the 9-to-5 prison isn't about quitting your job per se. It's about creating a life that gives you meaning and fulfillment and purpose. A life where you are excited almost every day to wake up early and just begin working on your projects, whatever it might be. So go find out what makes you feel alive. Go find out what gives you meaning, what gives you purpose, and don't settle for anything. Learn to love the process. Learn to love the moments of you working in the shadows on your projects. So, are you ready to ditch the 9-to-5 and start creating the life of freedom and purpose you have always dreamed of? Thanks for watching. And remember, life's too short to settle for anything other than your true purpose. Go after what you really want. See you in the next one.